Hello and welcome to Spectrum TV News at 2. I am Francis Oyima Edet, coming to you live from Uyo, the capital city of Akwa Ibom State. Let's take a look at the headlines. Vice President Shettima gives approval to non-kinetic Operation Southeast Insecurity. Federal government says Nigeria to have largest electric mass transit fleet in Africa. Plus, President Joe Biden says stopping Trump is motivation for second term. We'll bring you details of these stories and more in a moment. Joining us first in the news this afternoon is from the national scene, where Vice President Kashim Shettima has endorsed the use of a non-kinetic method to combat insecurity in the southeast region of the country. This is in addition to other steps that security agencies are already implementing. Shettima made this statement when a group led by Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, Benjamin Kalu, paid a courtesy visit to the presidential villa. The Vice President explained the merits of using a non-kinetic strategy to deal with the security situation in the southeast, claiming that it will spare the region from an everlasting war. Reports say the delegation from the Peace in East project visited the Vice President to present the proposal and invite him to the inauguration of the project, which proposes a non-kinetic solution to the issue in the southeast region. Away from that, the federal government has said that today Nigeria will soon have the largest electric mass transit fleet in Africa. The Minister of Foreign Affairs, Yusuf Tuga, made this known at the just concluded 28th conference of the parties COP28, the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, in Dubai, United Arab Emirates. Underscored the urgent need for concerted global actions to address the challenges of climate change. Tuga said Nigeria aims to have the largest electric mass transit fleet in Africa and increase electric buses from 100 to 1,000, noting that the country is leading the fight against climate change in Africa by setting ambitious and realistic goals. The minister also stressed the critical role of collaboration, innovation, and shared responsibility in combating the escalating climate crisis. Meanwhile, the federal government, through the Federal Ministry of Information and National Orientation, will be spending 138.6 million naira to combat fake news and print calendars. Part of the sum will also be used to facilitate media appearances for ministers. This is contained in the details of the 2024 appropriation bill currently before the National Assembly. Former Minister of Information and Culture, Mohammed, had initiated an advocacy against fake news under the previous administration of former President Muhammadu Buhari. Recall that in an interview with Newsman as a Dan, he stated that Nigeria had graduated from ordinary fake news to a deeper one, which according to him was being used to wage war against the government and its officials. To the Red Chambers now, where the Senate has expressed displeasure over the inability of key revenue-generating agencies, including the Nigeria Ports Authority, NPA, and Nigeria Customs Service, NCS, to stop what it called serious cases of revenue leakages in the country. The Senate, which spoke through its Public Account Committee, disclosed that the NPA failed to recover $1 billion, representing the debt of terminal operators, as well as another $68 million outstanding shipping bills and estate rent. The committee, at its sitting, also adopted the audit query issued to the NCS over the non-remittance of some 62.2 billion naira to the Federation account. The committee, which charged the revenue-generating agencies to wake up to their responsibilities, noted that continued leakages in revenue through the country into perennial budget deficit and borrowing. The chairman of the committee, Ahmed Wadada, said the committee was disappointed that the management of NPA failed to appear before it for questioning, even after invitations were properly sent by the committee. Next up is the Green Chambers, where the House of Representatives Committee on Public Petitions has issued a warrant of arrest on the Central Bank of Nigeria Governor Olayemi Kodaso, the Accountant General of the Federation, Oluwatoyin Madin, and 17 others for refusing to appear before it to answer questions on their operations. It is followed the adoption of a motion by a member representing Bayelsa, Fred Agbedi, at the committee's hearing. Moving the motion, Agbedi said that the arrest warrant had become inevitable following the attitude of the invitees. In his ruling, the chairman of the committee, Michael Yoram, said the Inspector General of Police should ensure that CEOs were brought before the committee on December 14th. Away from that, the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation, Dr. Beta Edu, says 1 million vulnerable households in Kogi State have benefited from the federal government's Conditional Cash Transfer (CCT) as part of efforts to ameliorate the impact of the harsh economic situation in the country. It has disclosed these in Kabawa, a suburb of Loguja, while fielding questions from journalists. The minister, who had earlier kicked off the federal government's grant for the vulnerable, disclosed that the President Bola Tinubu's administration was targeting lifting at least 50 million people out of poverty within the next 42 months. She pointed out that the government was bringing on board the End Hunger program, which would help to renew the hope for the very poor and vulnerable people in a society. In a separate development, the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, SGF, George Akume, said that President Bola Tinubu will not weaponize religion and ethnicity, noting that his intentions can be seen from his appointment, which spreads across religious and ethnic divides. Akume also said Nigeria should be rest assured that Tinubu would deliver on its renewed hope agenda. The SGF met this note in Abuja at the Nigeria Inter-Religious Council 2023 fourth quarterly meeting tagged Restoration of Hope in Nigeria. Akume, in his submission, noted that religion was very sensitive and volatile, hence religious leaders should focus on promoting mutual understanding, while political leaders should work for the common good and welfare of the people. On labor matters, ahead of 2024 negotiation of a new minimum wage for workers in the country, the Nigerian Labour Congress, NLC, has said that only an amount reflective of the current economic realities will be accepted. The NLC President George Arrow stated this in Abuja at the 19th edition of the NLC 2024 Hamilton School. Ajero, represented by the Vice President of NLC, Benjamin Anthony, said it was necessary for government at all levels to recognize that life and living conditions were getting more difficult. The NLC President added that the ultimate goal of labor was a living wage that covers the cost of living and makes allowances for saving. Over to end there, the ruling juntas of the two countries said in a joint statement that they were ending the tax pact due to France's persistent hostile attitude towards their countries and the unbalanced nature of the agreement, which result in a considerable loss of revenue for Mali and Niger. Reports say Mali's tax agreement with France has been in place since 1972, while Niger's deal with the European country has existed since 1965. The deals were created to prevent Malian and Nigerian nationals who live in France from paying tax in two countries. They also prevent French nationals in the two African countries from paying twice. Still in Africa, 19 South Africans who had been trapped in Gaza since the breakout of the war with Israel in October have safely returned home. They arrived at Johannesburg's airport aboard a flight from Cairo, Egypt. The group had initially been evacuated to Cairo through the Rafah crossing after securing approval from the Israeli authorities. The Director General of South Africa's Foreign Ministry, Zen Dangor, said the agency will make efforts to safely evacuate citizens still in Gaza. Move to the foreign scene, where U.S. President Joe Biden has said that part of his motivation to run for a second term next year is to prevent the return of former President Donald Trump. Biden made this known at a campaign fundraising event near Boston, USA. Reports say the president's remarks show his aspiration for a second term squarely on opposing Trump's comeback bid. According to reports, Trump will be skipping the fourth Republican presidential debate on Wednesday next week, which will be held in Alabama. On the foreign scene, Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky has called off a high-profile briefing with U.S. lawmaker amid an impasse over future U.S. funding for the country. Virtual appearances in the Senate and House had been scheduled for Tuesday, but were cancelled at the last moment. This came after a top Ukrainian official warned that they are in danger of losing the war against Russia if more U.S. military aid is not approved. The Senate leader, Chuck Schumer, said the Ukrainian president was occupied with a last-minute matter without providing further detail, hence the cancellation. Still to come in the news, LeBron James stars as Los Angeles Lakers beat Phoenix Suns to reach NBA semifinals. To stay with us.
For brilliant broadcasts and entertainment, sports on the go, and news around the world, watch Spectrum TV on StarTimes DTH Channel 421 and free-to-air frequency 12733. Visit our website, spectrumtvlive.ng. Spectrum TV, broadening your horizon. Christmas season is here again. Are you aware that making your business or product visible on the television space gives your brand a wider visibility and patronage? In the spirit of the season, Spectrum Television is offering a whopping 25% discount on all services. Advertise your products and services while this offer lasts from 1st December 2023 to January 31st, 2024. We are a television with a passion to take your business and services on a satisfactory lane. You do not want to miss this opportunity. For more inquiries, visit our city office at number 2 Taft Plaza Close off Akaitinen Road, Uyo, Akwa Ibom State, or call the following numbers on your screen. Spectrum TV, broadening your horizon.
Every day marks a day of significance.
That in view of the apology tendered by this former minister who had earlier been cleared by this August Assembly,
as we face critical issues, developments and events which shape our social and political landscape here in Nigeria and beyond. Political Spectrum is a program specially designed to help make sense of all the moving parts of developments and occurrences in our nation's polity and political economy.
There is nothing wrong with Nigeria, but there's everything wrong.
The educational history of public figures holds significance beyond mere biographical details.
From executive, legislative and judicial developments at national and subnational levels to international diplomacy and relations,
Join us for exclusive interviews with key political figures, expert opinions, analysts, thought-provoking conversations for and against, shedding light on the major issues that matter. We will always keep you updated on the most factual, smartest and unbiased reportage.
Stay tuned to Political Spectrum. Political Spectrum. All sides matter at the round table. Political Spectrum. Exclusive to Spectrum Television.
Many thanks for staying with us, and now to the concluding part of the news stories. On a business news, the International Labour Organization (ILO) and the United Nations Industrial Development Organization have agreed to reinforce their long-standing cooperation to accelerate sustainable and inclusive development in developing countries. ILO, in a release, said the collaboration aimed to boost economic growth, decent work, resilient infrastructure, and sustainable industrialization. According to the organization, the enhanced collaboration between the agencies will prioritize 5 key areas: skills development, sustainable supply chains, support for small and medium-sized enterprises, agribusiness, rural entrepreneurship for jobs and food security, and a just transition to eco-friendly economies. It stated that an updated working arrangement has been designed to strengthen progress on SDG 8 and SDG 9 and was signed by ILO Director General Gilbert Humbo and UNIDO's Director General Gerd Muller. According to the UNIDO Bros, industry is a key driver for economic growth and job creation. Still in business, the Senior Special Assistant to President Bola Tinubu on Digital and New Media, Ortega Ogra, has said that over-regulation is hurting the growth of the marketing industry. He said these at the 12th edition of the Advanced African Awards for Marketing Excellence held in Lagos. According to Ogra, in a keynote address, the challenge of regulation in marketing, regulations are necessary to ensure that marketing activities are conducted in a manner that respects the rights and interests of all stakeholders, including consumers, businesses, and societies. He advocated a balanced, effective, and efficient regulation that would consider benefits, costs, risks, and opportunities, as well as the needs and expectations of all stakeholders. To held on where the World Health Organization (WHO) has called for increased taxes on alcohol and sugar-sweetened beverages (SBS) to reduce deaths from drinking alcohol and unhealthy behaviors. The WHO, in a press statement, said globally 2.6 million people die from drinking alcohol every year and over 8 million from an unhealthy diet. It said imposing taxes on alcohol and SBS would reduce these deaths. The organization revealed that globally the taxes on unhealthy products such as alcohol and SBS were low. The findings highlighted that the majority of countries were not using taxes to incentivize healthy behaviors. Still in health, the Nigerian Medical Association (NMA) says that the continuous mass exodus of health professionals in the country is causing a strain on the remaining health workers, patients, and the health sector. The Federal Capital Territory Chairman of the NMA, Dr. Charles Ogwai, while speaking with newsmen, noted that the mass exodus, popularly known as JAPA, has further led to a shortage of doctors and nurses and caused the closure of some health facilities. According to him, the current ratio of doctors to patients is now 1 doctor to 7,100 patients. We move to sports, where LeBron James scored 31 points as the Los Angeles Lakers won a thriller against the Phoenix Suns to win 106-103 and reached the semi-finals of the NBA's inaugural in-season tournament. James, age 38, sank 15 points in the fourth quarter as the Lakers held off a Kevin Durant-inspired second-half comeback. The win sets up a showdown with the New Orleans Pelicans on Thursday. Still in sports, Super Falcons have sealed the spot in next year's Women Africa Cup of Nations WAFCON with a 2-1 win against Cape Verde at the Estadio Nacional de Cabo Verde in Prague. The Nigerian side had been ruthless in their reverse encounter at the Moshood Abiola Stadium in Abuja last Thursday with an emphatic 5-0 victory courtesy of a brace from Uchen Nakanu, Esther Okoronkwo and Gift Monday. However, the hosts had other plans and made their intentions known with an 8-minute goal from Racing Power striker Ivania Morira. With the win, the Super Falcons have won qualified for every edition of the WAFCON since it started in 1998 in Nigeria. To entertainment now, where Afrobeat sensation Davido is set to dazzle fans at the upcoming Bear With Us Festival 2. This year's edition is creating a buzz as Davido, often called Obo, gets up to deliver the performance on December 27th at Landmark Beach, Oniru in Lagos State. Still on entertainment, CJ's overseas black and white movie Mami Water will close its year with a final screening this holiday season. According to Obasi in a post on his X handle, formerly known as Twitter, Mami Water will make a special presentation at the Sorel 16 Film Festival in Lagos on Saturday, December 9, 2023. The festival, which will hold at the Alliance Auditorium, will also include a discussion with Obasi about the movie's journey. And that's all we have for you at this time. Do ensure to follow us on social media and subscribe to our YouTube channel, all of which you can find on our website, spectrumtvlive.ng. You've been watching Spectrum TV News at 2. I am Francis Oyima. Edit. And thanks, and do enjoy the rest of your day.